The opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and are not those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. The phone lines are open. Call in with your questions and comments at 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU. It's time for Stewart Laser Talk with your host, Dr. Tred J. Rizacker.
I'm 5'10" and 242 pounds.
I always say this is the biggest I'm ever going to be, and I said that like 20 pounds ago.
A third of Americans are obese, another third is overweight.
Obesity is the biggest threat to the health, welfare, and future of this country.
I've always been overweight.
I've got diabetes.
Sleep apnea, heart disease.
Everything's hurting now.
It's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off.
This is probably going to be the first generation of children who are going to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents.
18% of our children right now are obese.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
I want to think that there's something better for me.
Unless we're able to control this epidemic, we're going to have an abundance of chronic disease.
All of us have to be part of the solution to reduce obesity.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
If we don't now take this as a really urgent national priority, we are all going to pay a really serious price.
Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
Good morning, Treasure Coast. My name is Dr. Tred Rizacker, and I am a doctor of chiropractic and the owner and the leader of a new fat loss, fat removal revolution. And that would be called the Slim Body Laser Spa, laser-assisted weight loss, spot fat reduction, laser body sculpting. Yes, I have perfected a procedure and a technique which is an alternative to surgical liposuction. It's an alternative to fat freezing and laser burning away of melting fat, all this really dangerous, invasive kinds of procedures when we're unhappy with how we look. The non-surgical alternative is called the Lapex BCS Body Contouring System. It is a class 3 low-level cold laser. It cannot burn you. It cannot harm you. It will only give fantastic results when applied correctly. This is a non-surgical approach to something which really only surgery used to be able to accomplish, and that would be the removal or the reduction or the slimming of surface fat accumulation, the kind of fat that accumulates on the outside of your belt. The stuff that collects under your arms and around your muffin. It has many, many different names. Muffin tops, flabby thighs, thunder thighs, saddle bags, back fat, double chins, mommy bellies. And these are all terms used to describe this buildup of fatty tissue. And, the gold standard used to be liposuction. 30, 40 years it's been going on. I mean, that's really what people did for many, many, many years. And what's happened is in this business, in this, this desire to look better and to feel better, really the surgical intervention using surgery and medications and anesthesia and all of these types of things are really, people are starting to say, wait a minute, this is aggressive, It's possibly, it would be great just to remove the fat and not have to ever deal with it again. But at what price do you pay for that? And as a result, a lot of these procedures have come up, and they're now alternatives for this liposuction. Now, not all, when you compare things against liposuction and surgical fat removal and anesthesia and general and local anesthesia and this type of procedure, everything is non-invasive that's not surgical, right? Everything is better than that. Yet, when you look at the non-surgical alternatives, which is what I'm going to go over here today, and I'm going to specifically compare my lipo laser to cool sculpting. I'm going to specifically compare my laser lipo to the Safe Sculpt and Sculp Sure, which are hot lasers, the fat freezing procedure. And I'm going to allow you to make an informed decision if you think it's something that which you'd rather have. Now, everybody has their procedures they enjoy and results they've gotten, and we're not here to try to change that. I'm just here to give you some good, healthy information. Of course, it's definitely slanted towards my opinion, what I think works, because that's what I have my experience in. So if you're interested in finding out about the non-surgical laser lipo, lipo alternatives, today's the day. I'm going to go over it in detail. And at the end, if you'd like to, you can give us a phone call, 772-223-5885. You can go online, slimbodylaserspa.com, hit the contact page, and allow us to capture your email, and we will send you information about my procedure and also some fantastic discount coupons so you can sign up and save some money at the same time. My consultations are always free, but I don't want you to think that in any way they're not valuable. I get $300 to do a consultation, and the reason why I do them free is because I don't want any barrier for you to find out about the laser lipo, what I use in my office. You can't really call up your best friend or ask your mom or dad, hey, what is laser lipo? Do you have any idea what that is? And does it work? And is it safe? I need to know more. There's not a lot of experience yet in that. You could ask your parents if a Ford is better than a Chevy, or where they like what type of house construction, things like that. You could find out. But when you call and ask your friends about, have you ever tried any of these non-invasive laser lipo fat reduction procedures, you're going to get a lot of crazy opinions and answers about that one. So I offer a free consultation for you to come in, see the machine, see the results, look at the testimonies, speak to people besides me about whether it was something that they feel is valuable, and then you can make an informed decision. And that introduction is always free at my office. So where's my office? We're located at 2311 Southeast Ocean Boulevard. That is right across the street from Fresh Market in Stewart, next to Carmela's Pizza Restaurant. So if you're downtown Stewart and you get on East Ocean Boulevard and you're heading past the courthouse down towards the beaches, on the left-hand side before you get to this first bridge, the Stewart Bridge, on the left-hand side is Carmela's, and we're right there located in that Carmela's Plaza. I have hours from Monday through Friday from 8 to 6, Saturdays 8 to 12. You can reach me. The best way is really go online, slimbodylaserspa.com, hit the contact page, or you can just call up, Google, ask Siri where the Slim Body Laser Spa is, what the phone number is, and your little cell phone will spit it out, which is amazing technology in my opinion. I wish I could put the laser into the cell phone. Wouldn't that be great? And you could just put the cell phone right on that area you want to reduce. For sure. And that is almost what we're doing in the office, except we're not using a cell phone. But the procedure looks like the paddles which we apply to the area are about the size of a cell phone. And we can use 4, we can use 8, we can move them around. And in 9 sessions or 3 weeks, you can lose 1 to 3 inches of girth around your midsection, 1 to 3 inches of girth around your thighs, 1 inch to 1.5 inches around your arms. You can reduce the size of your male breasts, the moobs, we call them when you're a guy. And you're over 50, 60, you start getting male buildup of tissue. We can help that. We can help the bra bulges, the rolls that occur around your back. When you put your bra on and that fat is pushed up, this laser is a superstar at reducing those areas. And you can put them under your chin, 6 sessions under the chin. You sit for 10 minutes, hold that nice, warm, low-level laser paddle up under your chin for 2 weeks, 3 times a week for 2 weeks, and you can tighten, you can tone, and you can reduce the sagging of the skin. You can shrink and reduce that turkey neck, which is coming this November. We don't want you to be mistaken for a bird in a couple of weeks. want to barbecue you. Just kidding. But I love Thanksgiving. You like Thanksgiving, Mike?
No, it's my favorite holiday. One of my favorite holidays.
Do you think it's because we get to eat a lot and everybody does the work for us as men?
No, because I do a lot of the work in the kitchen. But I like the food. It's one of the few times a year where I have a turkey dinner. And I actually do enjoy hanging out with all the family. And it's a great way to kick off the holiday season.
I agree. Thanksgiving's always been one of my favorite meals, too. And do you have any secret stuffing recipes passed down from your mom and over the years or dad?
No, I never liked mom's stuffing. Sorry, Mom.
How about your wife's?
They've got... I got to get the jalapeno popper recipe from them. They serve jalapeno poppers as an appetizer.
Wow. That's something
boy.
That sounds Tex-Mex Southwest to me.
You take the peppers, some cheese and the smoke on there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Not healthy, but oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got the stuffing recipe, which requires mega amounts of loaves of bread to tear it up, you know.
My stepmother used to do that.
Yeah, tear that up, and then you use celery and onions and butter and let all that simmer. Mm-hmm. And then you start mixing it together. And then the special seasoning is Bell's. Bell's stuffing seasoning. Yeah, if you're over 50 years old, you'll know what Bell's is. And that gives it that stuffing flavor, you know. Not a lot of no walnuts, no raisins, no chunks of nuts in that, you know, just that straight up. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing it my whole life. So that's our recipe.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So looking forward to it. And, you know, it's not an excuse to eat so much that you die. But it is okay to eat and not, be a little more sedentary and watch TV. And, and then they say that the turkey has the tryptophan, right? It makes you go to sleep.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how true that is. I think it's just the fact that you ate so much and your body isn't used to it.
Probably a big part of it.
All right. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. This Thanksgiving holiday's coming up, and I'm sure we're all looking forward to it. We will be closed on Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
But we're open before and we're open after. So Thanksgiving is on a Thursday this year. So we'll be open Friday, Saturday, and, of course, the day before Thanksgiving.
Great day to come in and work off some of those turkey pounds.
Be guilt-free. Eat guilt-free, I tell people.
Yeah.
Come in, get some laser lipo, get rid of some of that subcutaneous fat, overeat a little bit, come back Friday, Monday, and live guilt-free.
There you go.
And don't have to worry. Because remember, fat accumulates. Calories accumulate. You don't, have a day where you overeat and the next day they all fall off.
Yeah, exactly.
They're cumulative.
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah, they're still there. They get stored away, and then, the next, they get bigger and bigger, unless you have a good procedure to burn those calories, such as through vigorous exercise, and or the laser lipo is a fantastic procedure for counteracting some of those extra calories. So what kind of people out there? So I was at the restaurant yesterday. I was getting some chicken marsal takeout, and I'm waiting, and there was a really nice couple who definitely were in their 70s, maybe even early 80s, and they were eating lunch. They were eating dinner, and they had a pizza, which was on one of those upper racks, where they put the little thing which holds it up. Mm-hmm. And as I was watching them, they were just finishing up with their meal, and he mentioned to the girl that he'd like to save the leftover pizza because he has lunch for it. So as they were getting ready to get up, I realized that they were not very physically well.
Okay.
Beautiful smile. You could see they were married they're definitely, but to watch him try to get up, he had to push the table away, slide out real slowly. And, as he went to get up, you could see that he was in absolutely horrible shape. Mm. He definitely had a belly that was easy, every bit of 42 to 45 inches around his waist, kind of narrow in his legs. So he wasn't like an obese person. Mm-hmm. He just had this really big belly. And you could see a lot of the weight had carried up into his chest. And I notice these things, people. Please don't think I'm weird, but this is what I do for a profession. I noticed that. And then the wife was kind of shaped like a butterbean.
Okay.
Kind of round and smaller legs, nice good facial features. Must have had some kind of procedure to kind of pull back that fat because you didn't see it in her face.
Okay.
But the roundness was almost like, like someone that had a tire around them.
Oh, wow.
And you could see she was struggling to breathe. That kind of that COPD where they kind of breathe through their mouth, labored. And had their wine. He had a beer. And as she went to get up, he assisted her to get up, And you could see that. So he was very concerned about the doorway. And there's a little drop there that kind of sloops down just a little bit. And it was enough to set both of them off, leaning over to the side, and had to hold on to the door jamb. And he got her to the little bench there in front. And then he went to get the car, which was 2 cars away from the door.
So it was close.
Yeah. And he had actually had a bit of a coughing fit before he had gotten out of his chair, before he left the table. And it was, quite, he had something had not swallowed properly or something. And I'm telling you, I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, oh man, this is what we got to look forward to. Made it to Florida, retired, and they were eating, I don't want to say overeating because that's not fair to say that, but I could sure see all of the accumulation of all of those lifestyle habits playing out in front of you to where it was a struggle to go into the restaurant and eat and get out and walk out. There was no popping up out of the chair. There was no cruising out the door, holding it for other people. There was no, he's, looking at other people, trying to be friendly or meeting other people. It was really just focused on getting out of there without falling, without hurting his wife, which was very important. I could see that in him. And, inside I cried. I really did. It was emotional to me because I saw that. And I thought, well, that was my mom or dad, and it was just... Man, don't wait, please, don't wait until it's too late, until you're to that point. When you're in your 50s and 60s and you're still able to move around, just know that fat and sedentary lifestyle habits are cumulative. They accumulate over time. And I don't know if these people were on medications. It wasn't privy to me, but by observing how they moved and it was the end of their day.
Right.
They were done.
Right.
There was no going to the movie after that. I don't think they were visiting friends. It was like, get me home right away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And that's something that, I don't know. Is it okay? Is it normal? It seems common, but it's not okay. Does that make sense? It's common, but it's not okay.
Well, as you said,
and I could help them. Both of them, even at their age.
Right. The Slim Body Laser Spa is there for people. When I was going through there, I saw people in their, 1 or 2 people in their 30s like me, a lot of people in their 50s, 60s, but some older people there as well that needed the help. They especially need the help because exercise isn't that much of an option.
I know. That's if the only tool you have is exercise to keep fit and lose weight, and you stop and you get older, you lose that and you're done. You're doomed. You're toasted.
Mm-hmm.
And and it was so hard not to reach out and say, hey, here's my card. I have the place just down the street. I can help you. How well would that have gone over?
Right. Yeah, that would have been that would have been probably bad.
Probably bad. So. Why aren't they thinking of this? Why isn't somebody in their health plan, because I'm sure they have health coverage, recommending this? Why aren't they helping us with this? Why isn't it part of our medical process to look at somebody who is obviously heading down a very slippery slope with weight gain and disability and inflammation and, type 2 sugar, diabetes? You could see it.
Mm-hmm.
You could see it. The breathing problem, the struggling to breathe, the no strength to even really lift up your legs to just pop up and sit up, to have to hold the table as they stood up. And then that concern, what really got my heart is the concern that he had for his wife. And I thought to myself, what's going to happen when he gets sick?
Sure. What's her name?
And, what happens to the wife? You know, they're so connected. You could see that. And she was very concerned when he was having his coughing fit, to the point where, you know, you could see the concern and he overcame it. And then you could see his concern with her trying to get up and walk. And I thought, what's going to happen if he can't help her? You know, oh my God, kids are going to have to come.
Yeah.
You know what the kids are going to say? I'm busy, Mom. I'm busy. It's not true. Some will. Anyway, so, wow, that really pulled on me yesterday. I just want to be helpful to people. And I do want you to know that the process of the laser spa, the work that we do there is something that is really, you don't really have to work that hard at it. I mean that. You know, this laser is a medical device. It reduces fat on anyone who uses it. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't require any effort on your part other than showing up, following a few simple suggestions. It works on white people, black people. It works on short people and tall people. It doesn't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, a libertarian, or an atheist. It doesn't care. The laser doesn't judge you that way. It doesn't matter whether or not you've ever heard of it or whether you believe in it, right? It's a laser. It's measured, it's predictable, it's consistent, and it produces a result which can be expected and duplicated each and every time. Wow. I mean, how's that for a sure thing? You know, that's why I fell in love with the laser lipo procedure. That's why I've taken it and turned it into like just a superstar benefit for people that come in and try it and use it. And I love when they first come in. Everybody feels just like the rest of you listeners out there. They're skeptical. Is it really going to work? It seems expensive. Is it worth it? And once they get through the process and they go through they see the results and the measurements and the pictures and they meet other people, they start realizing, hey, this is not, I'm not a freak because I'm here. I'm not a fool because I'm here. I'm here because it's something which has merit and a basis in fact, and it gets results. So nothing is more important than a testimonial. I could tell you all day long, I could shout it from the top of the Empire State Building that this laser lipo works, but nothing is more powerful than someone who's been to the spa who would like to share their story about their results. So we do have somebody online waiting to speak to us. Before I do that, I just want to ask Mike. Mike, did you come through the laser? Are you a testimonial?
I am a testimonial, yes.
And you done it twice, correct?
I went through it twice.
And give it just a real 2-minute.
Sure. First time I went through, I lost 6.5 inches in 9 treatments, and I was super skeptical at first. In fact, even during the first treatment, I'm laying there going, this thing's not even turned on. What's going on here? But you get measured in a very accurate way in the sense that it's easy to duplicate. It's not, there's no chance of the band being pulled tight or being twisted around.
It's not being manipulated.
Yeah, it's not being manipulated to show that you're losing inches when you're not. There's marks that they use to kind of get you 3 consistent measurements. And after going through the treatment for 30 minutes and pumping up, after the first one, you get measured right away. And after the first treatment, I lost 1.5 inches. And I went, whoa.
Around your midsection.
I didn't even feel that thing was on. At most, it's like the warmth of a flashlight.
Right.
And for that, at that point, I was all in. And went through the treatment, lost 6.5 inches. About maybe a year or so later, went through the treatment again, lost another 6 inches.
Well, you were getting married. I wanted you to fit into your tux.
And I did. And everybody at the wedding was like, oh, my God, you look amazing. What did you do? And I was like, lasers. They didn't believe me, but I made sure to tell them all, no, it's real. Lasers helped me get to the best shape I've been in years.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I lost, I was 265 pounds and suffered with diabetes in December of 2012. And I went in and I laid on my back for 3 weeks and I lost 10 inches divided by 3. So I lost 3.5 inches of girth. I went from a 40 waist down to kind of a tight 36, dropped about 8 pounds. And then I lost 10 pounds a month for 3 months, eating better And at the end of that 4th month, I was 38 pounds off. And that was with the laser helping me to motivate us. So, Patricia, have you been listening?
Yes, I have.
Okay, you're up.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't be nervous. There's only between 4,000 and 18,000 people that listen to the radio show. So you're good.
Sure. Anyway, I'll tell you my story. I had lost weight before I came to you, but I had this stubborn belly fat that just wasn't going to quit, wasn't going away.
Yeah, it doesn't
and the
respond.
love handles and all that. I'm like, oh, what do I do? So I was skeptical. We talked. I'm thinking in my head, I can't figure this out. But I did do research online, and I did find out that it is scientific, and went through with the procedure. And after 9 treatments in 3 weeks, I lost 8 inches off my waist. I went from a size 8 jeans, and I'm in a 6 right now, skinny jeans.
Woohoo! Clap your hands.
Pretty good.
That's right, Juan. Clap your hands. Wow.
And I'm not a spring chicken.
A seasoned hen.
Yes, very, very. In fact, I have a granddaughter getting married Saturday, so I fit into my beautiful lace gown and feel phenomenal in it. And anyway, so very totally painless. I actually kind of enjoyed the little bit of warmth, you know, like I said, like a flashlight warmth, relaxing, a spa-like atmosphere. The music is on, quiet. Of course, Juan comes in and reminds me of those 3 habits, which it's really good because they really sticking in my head now every time I go to eat something. So, and I did lose the 4 pounds.
What are the 3 rules? Let me see if you remembered. Weigh yourself on Thursday, right?
Right. Every Thursday, if you're up 2 pounds, then no carbs until you're down the 2 pounds. Right. And the second one is to replace a meal with a protein meal.
Replace one of your meals a day with a protein supplement. Right.
So every day I have my protein for breakfast. Every day. That's my breakfast. And a big, I put kale in it and all kinds of good stuff. And then the third one is to have a salad at dinner time. And I do it
before you have your meal.
Right.
So you fill up your stomach. So you'll eat less at the meal if you have a big salad.
Right.
And did she show you how to include protein in your food with that sheet of paper?
Yes, she gave me a list. Which
is that surprising?
I'm a nurse, so I was kind of surprised with the broccoli having protein in it.
50% of it is protein.
Yeah,
spinach 50 plus is protein. So you think you have to eat an animal to get protein, and you realize that dark green leafy vegetables are half protein. So you can mix it in with your eggs in the morning. You can put it in your smoothies. Yeah, great.
Right. Well, Sunday I went to an affair Sunday, and I had on a skinny dress, what I call a skinny dress.
Good.
And one of my friends walked up to me and says, "You look phenomenal." She goes, "Really? Phenomenal." And I know that even if I had lost the weight, but if I didn't have the lipo on my, laser lipo on my abdomen, I would still have that girth. So.
And you're thinking that was the best $2,800 I ever spent.
Yeah, it was icing on the cake.
And people will say, "Oh, you're so vain." No. It feels good to look good. It really does. I can't even tell you. We all have our shirts and our clothes that I went into. I was at a seminar this weekend, and I wore a T-shirt, and I would never. And this is around people that are, that know, and I would never do that if I had that big belly. I wouldn't have done it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And one of the men had come up to me who has some weight on his belly, and he says, "I can't believe you're wearing a T-shirt. You're like in your 50s." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." You know what I mean? Why not? I'm showing it off a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. Why not? That's great.
And I feel lighter on my feet, so that's the one. My hips don't hurt, my knees don't hurt. It's great.
So you're, as a nurse, it would be safe. It would be safe to say that a procedure that just physically removed fat, like sucked it out or burned it, it wouldn't really make you healthy compared to what we do with the Slim Body, right? This makes you healthy. Right.
It doesn't make you healthy. You don't need to remove the cells. The cells can stay there. You just got to keep the fat out of them.
You got to shrink them. Yeah, and that's...
These cells you've had these cells since you were a young person. So They're part of your body and your makeup, so just you have to learn how to deal with them. That's all.
And it's because a lot of people will compare this to to the fat freezing and these other procedures where they're actually where they destroy the tissue. By the way, it's called apoptosis. You probably know that too.
Right.
And you're not healthier as a result of it. You're really not.
Right.
You might have a reduction. You might look better in your clothing, but overall, you run the risk of fat migration, of repopulation of the cells, plus the pain from the procedure. And thus, you can't compare Slim Body to that.
Right. And it's nice because you walk out of there, you feel good, and you go on with your day.
That's great. Yeah, there's no pain, no suffering. I thought life was all about suffering. Anyway, thank you so much, Patricia. Fantastic.
Okay, you're
and
welcome.
We'll see you in the spa.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you Friday. Okay, bye.
All right, good story there.
All right, you beautiful, wonderful listeners. If you heard her story, you too can become a big fat loser. Lying on your back, listening to music at the Slim Body Laser Spa. Our laser sessions are 9 sessions in 3 weeks. You're on the laser for 30 minutes, relaxing, texting, listening to music. And then after the 30 minutes, you go into the whole body vibration area where you stand on this wonderful rejuvenation platform. I'm sure more and more people are seeing them. You do 10 minutes and you shake gently. You don't have to do the vibration, by the way. It's just you get better results. If you're willing to exercise and burn those calories, then the plate's not as important. And then from there, you just repeat. You do it again the next day, every other day for 3 weeks, and you lose those inches. It's incredibly effective. It's very, very safe. And because we're doing it naturally, you're releasing these calories and then burning that as energy over the next day. You don't have any risk of any kind of heart attacks or anesthetic reactions or swelling and tissue damage or lymphatic, edema, edematus following procedures. It's why I do it. It made sense to me. I could have a whole team of smart lipo doctors in there. Every month I get the advertisements and the web people show up and they want me to. You really should do smart lipo. You should really think about getting one of these hot laser machines. They're FDA approved and everybody's doing it. We'll help you with advertising. Half of your advertising dollar will be paid by the manufacturer. And I'm like, listen, guy, I don't want to do that. I don't want something which has a potential of harming people. It's not in my thought process. I really look for things which are super, super safe. And with that, the results might take a little longer. You might have to be a little more, willing to follow some changes. But most people realize that if they make changes and that helps in the process, that when they leave after the process, those changes will benefit them. And they actually solve the problem. We're not just giving you a fish for the day. We're teaching you how to fish. And you've heard that story, right? How many times do we know what that means?
Oh, yeah.
I can give you, when you go to a doctor and you're physically in trouble because of some lifestyle factor that you've ignored and you haven't taken care of, and you're prescribed a medication, is that curing the problem or is it just treating the symptom for the day? Right? The problem is lifestyle. You've screwed up, man. Hey, what is it, Tony? You screwed up. What is that thing on Soprano? I don't want to say exactly what he said, but yay, what the guy that he shot.
Hey,
you made a mistake. You screwed up. Tony,
bada bing, bada boom.
Tony, no, Tony, come on, My point is that when you take the medication, it changes your symptomatology. It does lower the pressure. It does change your cholesterol readings. It does knock the blood sugar down a few notches. But what happens tomorrow? And you need your medicine. I recently was put on metformin. And let me tell you, what a pain in the butt. You can't go anywhere without that stuff. You got to have it every day, twice a day. You take 2 tablets in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. And if you go away somewhere, you got to bring those prescription with you, and you got to have it in a special little bottle. You got to have your, what if the guys at the airport think you don't have a prescription for it? You can't just put a few tablets in your bag.
Right.
You know, I'm going for 4 days, so I need 16 tablets. I didn't want to bring the whole bottle. So you know what I did? I didn't bring it. I didn't do it. So, yeah, tell my doctor that, you know?
Yeah.
In other words, you become a victim of drugs. You become a victim of this constant having to have them and worried about insurance. Find a solution for the problem. And, you know, I am working on that solution, by the way. You know, my diabetes and my type 2 diabetes came about 4 or 5, well, I would say more like 6 years ago. I started to have these elevated blood sugar, and I was overweight at 265 pounds. Today I'm 215, by the way. So 25, 35, 45, 55. That was 50 pounds I lost since that 2012.
Wow.
And yeah, you don't realize it. I don't know if you were here in the show in 2012.
No.
Yeah.
I saw you after the weight loss is when I met you.
Yeah. I've had people that know me and don't recognize me when they see me, my face.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people think I was my brother.
Really?
The skinny guy.
Wow.
Dr. Flacca. Dr. Flacco or Flacca. That's what everybody calls him, the skinny doc. I was Dr. Gordo.
Uh-huh.
That's the way the Spanish people called me. And, you know, my blood sugar and my symptoms, oh, my God, they improved so quickly when I originally did the laser and started losing weight. Now, it's important to explain that you understand that this laser only targets one specific area of your body fat. It doesn't target all of your body fat. So you really store calories in 2 separate areas, your visceral fat compartment and your subcutaneous fat compartment. And the visceral fat is what surrounds your organs, and this is where you store your day-to-day calories. This is your instant access energy bar. Comes from your visceral fat. Now, the fat that's in the outside, the subcutaneous, is being populated when you're pregnant, when your estrogen is high and your progesterone goes away in preparation for the baby. It's also there for storing extra calories if you were going into a long winter without food and you needed to bulk up, your ancestor needed to put extra calories on before the winter, you would store those calories in your subcutaneous area. Kind of like the food you have in the garage. I live in Stuart, Florida. Hurricanes are definitely a part of life. I have experienced 3 weeks where Publix had no food or very little, and it was a bummer. And thank God I had somebody who stores, you know, cans of food and has extra food in my garage. And I keep it cool and I take care of it and I rotate it properly because you never know. You know, I can live with I can live without air conditioning. I could live without lights. I could live without my car. I could live without the internet. Maybe. But I cannot live without food. So I hope you got some food stored. It's just a smart, diligent thing to do. So those are areas where, you know, we store calories. So when you start to diet and exercise, when you're in your 20s, 30s, and 40s and you diet and exercise, you are successful at reducing both of those compartments. Some of the subcutaneous fat goes down and then the visceral fat goes down almost at the same time. So that's why people that are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s don't normally come into these laser lipo spas and businesses like mine, because they're still successful at diet and exercise. But there reaches a certain point in your life when you're in your 50s, early 60s, where your hormones and your habits and all the things you've done in the past have kind of accumulated and caught up with you. And now, basically, you're thick. You're thick around the midsection. You can't lose the inches as easily as you did when you were younger. Everything seems to make you fat, you know, and then you retire from work, which is common. And what usually happens, out come the carpet slippers. And we start living and surviving and revolving our whole day around food. about eating at lunch at the club, and then we're going to meet at the Bonefish Grill on Wednesdays and Thursdays for Bang Bang Shrimp. And then we're going to meet for the birthday at the Benihana's, and one of the grandkids is coming up. We're all going to celebrate when they come in. We're going to barbecue tonight. I got the fresh food at the fresh market there. I'm eating more bread, and having a few drinks. I don't have to work tomorrow. What do you think happens? Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Boom, boom. You're getting fat.
2,000 calories here, 4,000 calories there.
And the body can only hold a certain amount in the visceral fat. So where do you think those extra calories go? They go into the garage. They go into the outside compartment. Because you would die if you carried them all in the inside compartment. Because you're eating too many. And believe me, when you eat food, there is no mechanism where you poop out the undigested food. The undigested fat. In other words, any food you eat and it's absorbed by your metabolism and is converted to blood sugar, it's either going to be burned as energy or stored as fat. The food that comes out at the end of your day in the toilet has no food left in it. It's waste products. The calories, the nutrition has all been metabolized by your body and stored somewhere. So if your daily routine consumes 1,500 calories because of your exercise and you stay at 1,500 calories, you won't be fat. You just can't get fat. But if your daily caloric burn is 1,500 calories and you're eating 2,500 calories every day, you will get fat. And this is the problem. When we retire and we're less active, we're not burning as many calories, are we? Are you running after kids anymore? Are you running back and forth and shopping and going to the baseball games? Are you throwing ball with your kids anymore? No. You're becoming sedentary. That bad foot that you twisted when you got out of the car in Queens, New York, now's a problem. And I can't exercise this. And when I start walking, my foot hurts me all the time. And now you lose the ability to exercise. Or maybe that auto accident you were in where you seemed okay has now developed arthritis in your neck and back. So just to get out of, just to walk and everything, it hurts and it prevents you from exercising. And then you combine that with the lack of exercise and the more sedentary, and you're not cutting down on your calories. Man, it's a recipe for death. Really. I boldly make that statement. But if you don't do something, the body will do it for you. Develops high blood sugar. The body says we can't absorb any more calories. Hey, guy, we're done. You've eaten too much food, which is too caloric rich in fat and in sugar and in empty calories. And we've processed so much of this stuff for so many years, made fat, gotten rid of it, that you know what? We're going to be resistant to those calories. We're going to develop insulin resistance. And that's called type 2 diabetes. So now when you eat the food, which is not good for you, it raises your blood sugar, and the body has no mechanism to get rid of the blood sugar anymore. The insulin is not working the same. So what happens is your kidneys have to increase the urinary output to compensate for that extra blood sugar. That's why people with type 2 diabetes that's unmanaged or managed poorly urinate all the time. And they're thirsty all the time because that's the next step that the body goes through to get rid of that blood sugar. Over time, excess kidney usage leads to kidney disease. And then you end up living your life around the dialysis center downtown. And believe me, there's 4 or 5 of them. They got mega chairs in there. I looked down one when I was younger. I saw 20 chairs, lazy boy chairs lined up in a row, 10 on either side. They were all people for dialysis. I asked my mom, why do they have to take dialysis? What's that for? And she says, well, their kidneys stop functioning as you get older. I said, why would that happen? Well, maybe, the kidneys are overtaxed or overused. All the drugs, medications, NSAIDs, chemicals, eating bad foods, having high blood sugar, kidneys functioning 10 times more than they should, kidney starts to break down. So let's try to be happier here. I mean, let's be realistic. If you've been frustrated before and you know you're in trouble and you know you need help and you've made an effort, you've made attempts and you've failed, I implore you to please call the Slim Body Laser Spa. Call me up, have that free consultation. Let's talk about it. Give me your plan. I'd love to hear your plan. Maybe you have a plan. Maybe it's a good one. Maybe it's not. I got a plan. And it's medically supervised. I have thousands and thousands of people that have been through it and have gotten results. It involves the use of a laser, which I know you don't have at home, and discipline and some accountability. We can kickstart your program, and then you can go off and be successful on your own. You don't need my help after a certain point, but a lot of people need to get it going, need to get it moving that way. So, slimbodylaserspa.com. Call us up, walk in, ride your bicycle, have somebody drop you off. We're always available for that free consultation. There's nothing I love more than explaining this to people. And somebody asked me the other day, they said, what could be worse, doc, than being sick and tired? What could be worse than being sick and tired? What can be worse than being sick and tired? Being fat, sick and tired at the same time, right? So, got fat, get the lipo laser, and it's FDA cleared. And when diets fail, there is another solution, and it's FDA cleared. Come on down to Slim Body Laser Spa. So what is the difference between weight loss dieting versus lipo laser? Why do we need this lipo laser? Well, to summarize it very, very simply, when you are in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, and you gain weight in these two separate compartments, which I just described. Unless you're just tuning in, you've got the subcutaneous compartment and the visceral. And as those compartments start to populate with extra calories and you eat less in diet, both of those compartments shrink. They both come down. That's why it works so easy. And that has a lot to do with your age, your habits, and your hormone levels. As you get older, into your 50s and 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, your hormonal challenge is huge. In a female, she stops having her period. It's called menopause. And they start to accumulate fat on the outside of the body. In men, it's called andropause or midlife crisis, and that means their testosterone is starting to drop down, and they become estrogen dominant. And that puts fat on the outside. So now, when this person, this segment of our population decide to eat less and exercise, they will not get the same result they did when they were in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. You hear it all day long, all my patients, all the testimonials. They mention, it's just not changing. I eat better, I exercise, it doesn't change. This is why you need a laser. This is the client who needs lipo laser to start and to kickstart reducing and shrinking that outside fatty layer, the stuff you can squeeze with your fingers, the stuff which bulges out of your bra bulge in the back, the stuff which hangs under your chin that you can flop around, that's subcutaneous fat. And when you're over 40, over 50, 60, 70, you need help. That's why this is different than weight loss. Now, you'll still need weight loss if you're overweight. Mm-hmm. And we help you with that. We don't charge extra for weight loss. But, so that's why it's important. Now, how do you compare Cool Sculpting versus my lipo laser business, what I do? It's a very easy. Now, Cool Sculpting has the #1 search on the internet as far as people looking for it, looking for procedures. They have the biggest reputation, and there's a lot of doctors that do Cool Sculpting. So I first want to let you know that it is a non-invasive, non-surgical solution to spot fat reduction is what it does. It is FDA approved. So they have felt that it's safe to use. You can get results from it. But we're comparing against my procedure. Okay? So it is very different in how it works. Okay? The fat freezing procedure uses thermal energy, cold air, and clamps the tissue between these two pads. You put this device on your fatty area, and it sucks the tissue into a vacuum and pulls it away from the body until it gets to the point where it's between these two metal pads using suction. And then it locks it there. And then for 50 minutes, those two plates get really cold. about 36, 37 degrees, which is, 1 or 2 degrees above freezing. And what happens is that cold air between the two pads, destroys the cells between those two paddles. It creates apoptosis, which is where cells burst, they break apart. So why doesn't it kill the tissue on the skin? Right? It's as cold as everything else. It doesn't kill the tissue on the skin because they put a little web, a little insulator before they stick that to your body. So that protects the surface from frostbite. And then after 50 minutes, you release that machine, and then they smooth it out with cream, and you wait about 12 weeks to see a result. And that's because the tissue has to be absorbed. It has to be produced, it has to be metabolized by the body as dead tissue, as fluid, as tissue debris, which can be in the form of pus, can be in the form of dead cells, hematoma, right? This is the terms that are used in the medical office. So no guarantee of result, not that predictable. And you don't really know if it's worked because you got to wait 3 months to see a result. So let's compare it to the non-invasive low-level laser. We apply the laser to the same area just by touching the skin very lightly. The laser makes contact with the area you want to reduce. We can reduce the whole midsection, around your belt line. And for 10 minutes, we leave the paddles on there, and then we move the paddles up for 10 minutes, and we put them on the flanks on either side for 10 minutes. So we can treat the whole midsection, not just one 6x6, 4x6 inch spot, which is the cool sculpting, just does individual spots. And then what happens is, in that 30 minutes, those fat cells are shrinking. They're releasing their fatty contents into the interstitial tissues in the form of free fatty acid, about 600 calories. And then we got to get them out of the body. Now, the liposuction doctor would suck them out with a stick, put them in a jar next to you. We're not going to do that. But you have to burn those calories as energy. So you have to eat less during our procedure. No food for 2 hours before the laser, no food 2 hours after the laser. And then you jump on the whole body vibration plate, and the vibration plate moves those calories into the system. And then if you're hungry, you'll burn them as energy. If you eat light, you'll get better results. If you're willing to exercise and walk after the procedure, you'll continue to burn those calories. Each time that you do the laser at our office, you lose about a ½ inch in each one of those spots. So that's about 1.5 inches when totaling the 3 spots together. In 9 sessions, you can lose 6 to 9 inches. And it's the same day, the same week, the same 3 weeks. We take our pictures at the last visit, and you can see them online at Slim Body Laser Spa. There's no apoptosis, there's no damage, there's no pain, there's no pus, there's no swelling, there's no chance of frostbite, nothing. And that's why I like it. All right? Hey, I hope it heard something here that motivated you to make to call us, slimbodylaserspa.com. I will see you next week. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.